and welcome back to the Rave Social Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden, and today we have a special guest, Hannah from Sunny Social. Everyone say hi, Hannah. And we're so excited to have her today. We're going to talk about like social media boundaries and kind of get some insight on Hannah's own journey with like taking a break from social media and just kind of like boundaries around that in general. So, Hannah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm so happy to be here. I feel like this is like a long time coming. So Thank you. I wish we were IRL. I'm like dying to use a mic. Like I think I'm like meant to hold a mic. So
it's really fun.
Maybe one day. I'm like jealous of your setup. But anyways, I'm Hannah Hoffman. Like I said, I used to do social media management, and now I'm focusing on coaching and more of the content creation, creativity, things that really align. And I think we'll get into what that that like journey was to get to there. But yeah, I trending audio, just vibes. Like honestly, that's what we're doing now in this current season.
Hannah is vibes. She always has been vibes. And it's been so it's at least for me, I know the journey for you has been like hard. Like you've been, obviously you took a break for a reason and things like that, but it's been like fun to watch you from my side, because just watching you step into like your authenticity and be like, you know what, like this is not serving me. I don't want to do this anymore. Like setting those boundaries is so inspiring because it can be so hard. And I feel like every social media manager says this, but it's true. It's just really difficult to be on your phone constantly. Like that is your work. That is your play. That's how people contact you. That's how your friends get to you. That's how your family gets to you. Like it's just a lot to always be logged in. So I just love that you decided to like choose yourself and set those boundaries and just make your life better.
Yeah, it was the best thing I ever did. And it was the only time I think in my life that I took time to actually like nurture and take care of myself, like truly being a firstborn, the whole thing. Like there's kind of like you're kind of built in to care for others. And then being a social media manager, like your whole like business is centered around like nurturing other people and like managing their expectations and managing their socials and all these things. And so it got to a point around September last year where I was just like, oh, okay, I am like unwell in like every single way. And if I don't take a break, like something bad's going to happen. And like, it would be a lie to be like, yeah, that was all fueled by social media. And it truly was not, as most things aren't. But anyway, so that was kind of the journey to, I don't even know what I was saying, to be honest, but just yapping. So typical.
What was like so in September last year when you were like, this is like a hard break, like you, cause you didn't like fizzle out. You were just like, you made a decision. What was your client load like? What was your business looking like and feeling like? Like, obviously, I know personal things went into it as well, but where were you? I just want to know.
Okay, wait, this is so funny because I fired all my clients in February 2024. So this was a really long journey. Like, this was really long to get to this point where I finally was like, okay, I just need to give myself time. I should have done that in February and it wouldn't have gotten that bad. And so by February of last year, I knew, like, after 2-ish years of doing it, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I cannot do this. Actually, I had like thought of, this is funny because I had thought of a whole new idea of what I was going to do with Sunny Social. And I literally like met with an OBM and we like planned it all out. We planned the launch, like a 6-month basically to-do list. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm ready. I'm inspired. I'm excited. I got the like to-do list and all that back at the like kind of beginning of the summer. And I was like, you're kidding. I can't do this. I'm so tired. Like, I literally was. I was like, I cannot do this. Like immediate imposter syndrome, immediate exhaustion, immediate like wake up call. What are you doing, girlfriend? You have not recovered enough to like start this whole new project. And it was huge. It's going to require so much energy, so much money. And I like was staring at the to-do list, and I think I stared at it long enough to where I like literally started crying. Just like of this like realization of like you just don't have it. And like as a Capricorn hustling girl who like literally has so much identity wrapped up in work and like genuinely enjoys work, this like realization of like not having it and having to like admit that was very like, it was like world shattering a little bit.
Yeah.
And so like that was at the beginning of the summer, and just slowly from there just got worse and worse. Like the mental health in like a dark hole, like it passed a dark hole, like mental health horrible, like circumstances in life horrible, like just I have OCD as well, and so she was really like running my life.
She said hello.
Like I've been sitting a little bit dormant, you've been ignoring me, no more, like literally. And it became something that it started bleeding into just general social media showing up. I was like, I know nothing. Like, I actually know nothing. God. People like, what am I doing here? Like all these things. I was like looking to everyone else, like so many of us have done and do, to be like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, how do I get out of this like feeling of just like complete, like I am literally the dumbest person that's ever shown up on socials. Like that's what like Miss OCD and all of this is telling me. And so it was dark. It was really dark.
Yeah. I mean, I just can feel for you so much. And I don't think I've ever had such an extreme experience that you've had, but I have had those same thoughts where I'm like, I go to post something and I'm like, what am I doing?
No, literally.
Like, what am I, like, who gave me permission? Like, are you serious? I don't know what I'm talking about. Or like a client's account will be like flopping and I'm just like, you're right. Like, I literally should quit. Like, what am I doing? And then that energy makes it so like you just cannot move forward. Like, until you've like worked through that, you're just going to be like bound up. And it's not a fun place to be in.
Well, and so much energy gets put towards that. And everything's clouded by that with like this lens of I'm not capable of doing this. And I'm not supposed to be doing this. And just like, it's like imposter syndrome to the max. And I think so much happened like literally from January 1, like just trauma, honestly. And it just like I got to a point where I was like, I was not only like burnt out from working, I was burnt out from just like life in general. And it was kicking me. And so I took a break, and it was only supposed to be September. It's only supposed to be like 2 weeks in September. And then I got to the end of September. I was like, I still feel horrible. Like I still feel like exhausted. We're going to do this again. And then it ended up lasting until January of 2025. I was like, I had my trad wife era. I like started going to the gym, like in the middle of the day. I like started baking bread. Like I don't cook. Like my husband cooks every single dinner. The fact I was literally making bread was like shocking. I got on SSRIs. Like I like was like full on. I was like, we're treating this, sister. We're like, we are addressing. We are like trying to get through this. We are plugging the hole with whatever we can in order to get whatever clarity it is you need. And I think a big part was before this break, I was like, should I even be doing this at all? And like my husband was like, you're miserable.
No.
Like, should you be doing this?
No, yes. That's it's so sad when it gets to like that point and you're like, you're like, I'm just trying to like pay the bills and like work, and like, no, you're right, I can't do this. Like,
no, seriously. So it was a full-on journey, and I actually, when was it? I think it was October. I was like, this was like consuming my life. This like idea of like, should I be done? Should I not be? And on October, my therapist like recommended, she was like, here's like this like decision-making like meditation basically. Like you'll be able to tap into like your energy and kind of like your knowing and things. And so I did it. And at the end of that meditation, I was like, I'm done. I literally was like, I'm done. I like went down to my husband's office. I'm like, I like start crying. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. And I like tell him, it's like, okay, I'm ready to like build like my dream life now.
Yeah.
And I literally, it was giving, Taylor can't come to the phone right now. She's dead. She's gone. Like, I literally did. In that moment, I was like, Sunny Social died. What Sunny Social was.
She was dead.
R.I.P. Like, no kidding. Like, I like fully was done, which is hilarious now that I'm like back in full force. But at the time, like, I truly like felt that and believed that. And that like kind of cutting was exactly what I needed. That's when I started to feel like myself, and I started feeling this relief, and I started feeling like I had space to be able to rest and be able to take care of myself, because this like back and forth like decision I thought I was making like no longer was weighing on me. And that's when like the growth started coming, and that's when the clarity started coming, and that's when just slowly
it's so funny. I feel like this example like exists in so many different ways in people's lives. It's like when you're trying to sell your house and it's not selling and you're like, okay, I give up, like whatever. Yeah. And then it sells or whatever. Yeah. It's like you have to let go of it.
Yes.
In order for it to like basically like die a death is what it did, and then like be reborn into something new.
No, literally. Look at us getting like religious. Like I think like, and I think that's so true, because it was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, and instead of trying to force this, I'm gonna like let this flow. Mm-hmm. And that's like for us control freaks over here, as I resonate with, like, it's like, what is that? But it's like being able to actually embody that created so much space and created so much like room. And it got to a point, I think it was until December. So I had all of October, all of November thinking this, right? I'm done. I feel good. And then in December, I actually was in Trader Joe's and getting like freaking garland or something. And the cashier recognized me from Instagram. And she was like, I love your account. Like, you've helped me so much. You're like always my go-to for like, just like encouragement and like, just like, you know, all these things. And she's telling me this. And I was like, literally, I was like, you have no idea being able to like hear that from somebody else, like what that means in this like current state that I'm in. And so it was like this little reminder of like, wait, I got it. Like, girl, like you do know stuff. And like, you built this, and people are here for a reason. They're not just like, they're not here because you're a fake liar who doesn't know anything about social media, right? Like, which is what I was telling myself. And so that slowly evolved, and I started missing my like filming my trending audio reels, and I started missing coaching calls and like connecting with people, and this like confidence started to build. And by the end of December, I was like, I think I'm going to come back. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to mute everyone. Everyone's being muted.
Key. That's so key.
I was like, I'm not consuming any content. I do not care what happens to my engagement. It is none of my business what anyone else is doing. I am muting people. I am unfollowing people. I went from like following 400 people to following like 66 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, you are not welcome in my social space. And there you go. Boundary number one. If you are having a hard time with comparison and imposter syndrome, you need to go through your following. You need to mute people. The 5 to 10 people that you compare yourself to constantly, go mute them. Like, go mute them right now.
Because seriously, like, you have to. And the thing is they might notice. Who
cares?
They might feel sad that you did that. They might feel sad that you unfollowed them. But like, it's actually nothing really to do with them. It's all about you and your mental health and your space. Yeah. And I've had to do that too so many times. Like, as soon as I start to see myself slip into that, like comparing or like going to search out another account because like they're slaying and you want
Literally
to do what they're doing or whatever. Like if I catch myself doing that, I'm like, unfollow. Like you can't put that pressure on yourself. And it's just a waste of time, honestly.
It's like the only thing it's hurting is you and your business. Like at the end of the day, like you can mute them and they'll literally never know. Like they'll never know. So like if you're worried about unfollowing, just mute them for a time. Like even if it's for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, like take what you need. It's literally your responsibility to protect your social space and like claim that power back rather than just letting it happen. And it does like require like a level of awareness to be like, oh, this made me feel really bad. Like this is like fueling this already like building insecurity. So that was a big thing. I was like, I'm going to have boundaries. I'm going to check in with myself every single day. I'm going to have like a list I go through every single day to make sure I'm enjoying this. I'm not consuming any content. I'm posting whatever the F I want. Like I am just going to wing it and vibes and all these things. Like when I posted my like see you in 2025 reel to Diva by Beyonce, so dramatic. I literally like I had no plan. I had no idea what I was going to do, what I was going to post. And I was like, we're going literally on vibes, intuition and vibes. Because that's literally what this business started as. Like I did not know anything literally actually when I started. And
that's like the craziest part is like 2 years ago, like you didn't know, but you were just doing it. Like you just weren't. Like I think we get so into our businesses, and this goes even beyond social media. Like you start to grow it and you're building it, and then everything gets complicated. And it's like it wasn't complicated like when you started and you were doing arguably better then. So like is the complication serving you? Like no, I don't think it is.
It's because you have this level of delusion when you start and you're not as aware. And I think as you learn more and you become aware of like what the rules are and what the expectation is for running a good business, especially when you're 3 years in, 4 years in, like that, like we are, like you get to a point where like there's a certain expectation on me now. There's a certain pressure on me now. I know I can make this. I know I can make money from this. So now I need to continue to make money from this. And now there's something to like lose. And so there's like so much more pressure involved that then, something like this happens and it just knocks you down a lot more than at the beginning when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm setting Word document contracts and charging $500 for, full service management. And you're just like vibing. You're like, hey, someone's paying me and I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, and so it is different, I think. And it's exhausting, but I think that's where like the confidence comes in. And that's where it's like, and having boundaries and doing the mindset work. I think like I do a lot of coaching calls and in every single call, I always walk away being like, they say things like, I know I need to do that. Or like, I see content that like tells me, yes, I need to do that. And what I tell them is I said, exactly. Like, it's not about going down the checklist. It's about fixing, like, this is all about your like mindset and your approach. You're looking to other people.
No, sorry, I was just thinking about this the other day. I was kind of thinking about, in our client roster, there's clients that do so much better than other clients. Yeah. And the strategy is great. And the content we're creating for them is awesome. But it all, like most of the time, it's coming down to the energy and the mindset of the client. Like our clients who do the best are clients who have honestly very low expectations for social media. They're like, yes, I use social media. It's part of my business, but they're not relying on it for 100% of their business. It's just one thing that they're doing. They have more fun with it. Like they're willing to try a new reel or spend a little extra time on a carousel just because it sounds fun.
Yeah.
And the ones who don't do as well are stressed about every behind, like all the minutia that goes with posting. They're stressed about hashtags. They're stressed about if they use too many emojis. They're stressed about if the video they chose was the perfect lighting, if the font they chose was the perfect font. And it's like, actually, no one cares. And like you spending your energy on that is actually just making the content less good.
Yeah.
Because you're all of a sudden separating yourself from like what feels natural and what feels good to post. And it's like,
and you're identifying
so
with like the result too. Like you're like you're like outsourcing your worth of your business and yourself to like these external things that you have literally zero control over at the end of the day. Like you don't have control over the algorithm. You don't have control over Instagram. You don't have control if your followers are like out, you know, enjoying the summer and just not showing up as much in your comments, which by the way, that will happen. Summer's coming, engagement's down. Like, it's okay. It's not you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like these natural things that happen that are completely out of our control that we decide is, you know, related to my social media manager, or I need to switch up my strategy 10,000 times, or, you know, I need to take that emoji out. Like you're saying, like these kind of the smallest things. And I think like, even with these clients that I deal with, that I meet with, and I really enjoy working with, no, they have this level of like, yeah, I know I need to be consistent, and I know I need to like have a tone of voice that aligns with my brand, and I know I need to like learn and get to know who my target audience is, right? Like these things that are like pivotal to showing up on socials. They know this, but then they're so focused on the imposters, like they're having major imposter syndrome. They're dealing with comparison. They're dealing with overwhelm. They're scrolling for inspo rather than, which, you know, is just a death trap for, you know, comparison and hating your life. And so I think like so much of the time, and this was the same for me, was like I needed to address all the mental lead up to even like pushing publish on a post. Like there was so much noise that by the time I posted it, I was like, I hate this and this sucks. And it was because of all the like energy I wasted. So
yeah. And I feel like another boundary that I set for myself and I encourage my clients to set is like, if you're like struggling to simply show up because of whatever, like what it's probably imposter syndrome, whatever, be like, I'm going to do this post in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You have 30 minutes. You're going to get the post done in 30 minutes. Like if that's what you give yourself, you're going to get it done, and you're going to hit post, and then you're going to close out of the app. Like we don't need to be spending 3 hours going back and forth and just like, because that's honestly where the ROI becomes non-existent.
Yeah.
When you are doing that, it's like, it's not necessary.
Yeah. It's not worth your time, your energy. It's not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. I think it's like, it's like you need to give yourself a time limit, or you need to prep it well in advance and schedule that and literally never think about it again. Like whatever it is for you, it's like prep it a week in advance, 2 days in advance, forget about it. Literally let it go before you even get to that day of, right? Or exactly what you're saying is like, I have 30 minutes to do this. If I don't do this, my business suffers because I'm not showing up, you know?
Yeah.
But, and I think it's like for different people, it depends on the energy. For me, prepping a post in 30 minutes is it activates my nervous system in a way that it does not need to be activated. I'm stressed.
You're like, why am I stressing?
I'm stressed. I'm like running from a bear. Like, this is not necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't be feeling this, right? And I know that for myself. And I think for everyone, it's different. Like you need to kind of know, you need to know what you're capable of. Something I always say in my calls. I'm like, okay, how often can you sustainably post in a month or in a week, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. You need to be able to do this in depression season, in summer season, and busy season. Like, right? Like, it's not ever going to be perfect, but think about it. It's not 7 posts a week. It's not, right? Like, everyone is
for
different.
most people, it's not. It's not because they're not content creators. Like,
no,
you are running a business, being a mother, working in your business, working on your business, like all the things. Like, you're not a content creator.
Your life.
So yeah, like there's a reason content creators can do that. And there's a reason why it might feel hard for you as a business owner because you have a lot going on.
Well, and it is hard. Like, it is hard. What you're doing and what you're trying to do and what you're juggling is hard. And that is completely valid. I hate the like, no excuses, like propaganda out there. Like, I hate that. I feel like so protective over that because it's just not realistic. And that's where a lot of the like, oh, well, I'm not even going to do it anyways because I can't do it perfectly. And it's like, you have to be willing to like experiment and show up in that way. I think something else, another boundary I have, and I've had this since the beginning of Sunny Social, was because social media is so intertwined with our jobs. I take every weekend off of the apps, like fully and completely. I do not log on. I do not, it's none of my business what's happening on Saturday and Sunday on Instagram. Because if I was working a traditional job, I would have that time off. I wouldn't be, in, a perfect world, obviously. In theory, right? And it's like, so I don't need to be showing up on those weekends. Like, I have my business built around that. I have my schedule, my strategy built around that because that's my time to touch some grass, to run in the sun, and to not be like working. Like, it's not like I don't need to be in my DMs on a Sunday. Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
Not.
So that's a huge one for me.
How do you feel like after taking a break and then coming back? How do you feel like your boundaries have shifted? Are you posting more than you used to? Are you posting less? How do you feel about it?
I feel really, alignment has been a really big theme for me with coming back here. I have launched more services in the last like 6 months than I have my whole entire like career as Sunny Social, like truly. And it's because I've created space to be able to like execute those things and take action. And in regards to like how often I'm posting, I started with 3 times a week. I was like, I can do that. That's sustainable. I went up to 4 and now I'm going back to 3 for the summer.
Because she needs her time in her space.
I need my time in my space and I need my time at the pool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want time in the sun. Like, it's summer. Engagement's down. I don't need to be posting 4 times a week. It's whatever. I don't care. Like, and I think I'm approaching it in a much more flow state than I was previously. Again, going back to like, I know the rules and so I need to follow them. It's like I've completely ditched those. I'm doing whatever I want. And I think I'm prepping only like I prep at the beginning of the week. I'm not prepping a month in advance. And like literally creating Sunny Social content is one of my least favorite things.
I think it's harder to create it for yourself than it is for clients. Yeah, for sure.
Just like, because you're like, you have to treat your business, and this goes for everyone, even if you don't work in socials, like you have to treat it like it is a client outside of yourself. Like you have to, or it will never get done. Like having that like dedicated time. I like always tell people, I was like, if you don't take care of this, your business will suffer. Or, if you were to like not do the deliverables for your client, they're going to be like upset at you. You're going to get bad reviews. Like you have to like value yourself and like that time and like build it out. If you want to grow on social media, you have to show up on social media. And so it's like, I still have this like, okay, I need to show up, but it's so much more of like, I think I'm going to talk about this.
And like, I think that a big shift happens when you're like, I want to show up.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
When you slip into that, like, I have to like burdened state, I think no matter what kind of business you run, like no matter what you're doing, even in your business, when it's like, I have to do this and you're doing it with like dread and like, it takes you 7 hours when it should take you 2 because you don't want to do it. Like, I think that's when you do have to like take a peek and say, how can I enjoy what I'm doing? Does that mean that I do need to pivot my business? Mm-hmm. Does that mean that I do need to have better boundaries about the time that I'm spending on each task? Like, what is it? You have to dial that in or else, like you're just going to be dreadfully doing it.
Well, and then you're going to start to resent it. And then you're going to start feeling this like just like obligatory, I hate Instagram and it hates me. And like, and what's the point? And then that, that leads to a much bigger issue. And so I think
Yeah.
with socials, it's like being willing to be like, wait, like this can be fun. And how am I going to make this fun? And how am I going to create this space and the time to be able to like actually treat it as that rather than this like obligatory, like stressed, like bad energy going into it. And I think like it's valid to feel that way. Obviously, I felt like that for like a full on year. Like, let's not pretend like it's not the easiest thing to come out of. But I think that's why it's important to give yourself space and to like get inspired again and to get excited again. Like, be willing to take like a week off from posting if that's what it takes. Like, that's not going to kill your business, you guys. It's okay. It's actually going to help support it because you're going to come back with more renewed energy and excitement. Yeah. And I think that is very important. Like, if you're showing up on socials with this dread, people are going to feel that. Whether or not it's subliminal, like whether or not they like actually notice that and feel that. And so I think, which I even hate saying that because I'm like, then it puts this like pressure of like, oh, okay, well, like now I need to make sure like, I'm not.
I feel like it's where when you know it's like, I feel like there's going to be times, period, end of discussion, all in your entire life, no matter what you were doing, if you were owning a business, corporate, whatever, like there's going to be periods of time where you don't necessarily feel that excited.
No,
a girlie working a corporate job, there's times when you're like, I don't want to go to work today. Like, and you still have to. So I think it's recognizing that and then making sure you're in tune enough that you're not doing that like cyclically constantly. Like if you're going through that cycle once a week or like once a month where you're like super inspired and then you tank, I think that is a red flag. And that's when you need to like really take a look and see what's up. If you're just living a normal life and you didn't sleep as good on Thursday and so you don't feel as good and you're not like excited about posting, I think that's different. I think
100.
But ultimately, like I think that I think there is an inner knowing if you are burning out or if you are not sleeping that good one night and still hitting post. Like I think you do know that.
Exactly. Like I think especially as women, like there's no way we're going to have equal energy and excitement every single day. Like no, absolutely not. I'm in my luteal phase now. I'm so tired. I can't speak.
Same.
I'm like, like literally, I'm just like, I'm not articulate. I like have no thoughts. Like I'm like, please. And so there's going to be times like naturally, literally built into us, like cyclically. So like having grace for that and like even becoming aware of that for me, like our cycles literally like, help so much
because then every time I hit my luteal phase, I'm not like, I need to burn my business to the ground. This isn't for me. Like, what am I doing? Like literally, those are thoughts that I like genuinely do have every single month. And when I have them, I think, oh, let's check our aura and see where we're at in our cycle.
Literally.
And then I'm like, okay, this is all making a lot of sense because if 4 or 3 out of the 4 weeks in the month, I'm like, I love what I'm doing. Like go, and then 1 week, it's like, okay, there's obviously like a hormonal thing going on here. And I don't need to feed the beast. Like I can literally just ignore those thoughts, take more time for myself, take longer showers, like rest a little bit more. I'm going to be fine. And for me, like that's when having content planned in advance is useful for me. So I've actually kind of noticed that I like when I'm in like ovulation phase, I get really creative and I'll have like, that's when my notes app starts getting like, like all the ideas. And I'm like, gorgeous. Because then I know in two weeks, I love that version of me. In 2 weeks when I'm like, ugh, I'm still going to be able to like be consistent with those ideas that I had when I was like on top of the world.
Exactly. I relate to that so hard. And I think a lot of people probably do. And I think a big thing that comes into play too is like having grace and self-compassion. It's like, really that? Like, I have to work on that. Like, I can't just be superwoman and do it all. And it's like, no, like literally yesterday I didn't have a post, or Monday I didn't have a post. And I was like, then I'm not going to post because I'm not going to stress myself out over
like,
it.
it's fine.
I'm tired. I'm not in the freaking mood. Like, I'm just not. Like, and so I allowed that. And like, I was like, proud of myself for doing that instead of, again, going back to that force and obligation. And I think for so many people, it's just hard to have that like self-awareness, and it's hard to like notice like, oh, I am burning out. And it's like, well, I just need to push through. I just need to change this. It's like a problem with me. It's not a problem with my circumstances. It's not a problem with the lack of nourishment I'm giving myself or the fact that I'm doing and juggling 10,001 things every single day. And I have the mental load of like, it don't even get me started. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's like, give yourself a freaking pat on the back and like realize you're doing so many things, and it's okay to not be 100% all the time. That's actually impossible.
Yeah. I think there's like two elements to this too. One is that some people do just have a more natural ability to have like a sustained energy. Like a little bit of it is like human design if you're interested in that. But I also just think some people have a little bit more energy and they just have a little bit more. And like, I think what was hard for me is like, I am a Capricorn. I'm very driven. I love to work. Like, I will work myself to the ground.
Yes.
It was realizing just because I do have that much energy and that much drive and that much passion doesn't mean I should be spending all of that on my business. What if I spent some of that on my hobby? What if I spent some of that cultivating friendships? And like, for me, I realized, you're right. I could put all of this energy into my business, but then I'm not going to, but that's not what I really want. What I really want is to like go get a drink with my friend on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And what I really want is to get better at sewing. And so like, it was that recognition of like, okay, I do have the energy, but like, where is it really fueling me?
No, yeah. Because hobbies and investing time in yourself is actually going to give you the
like
balance that you need to be able to show up in your business in a more like aligned way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, duh. You're like, duh. But like, I had to learn that the very hard way, like very, very hard way. And I think for me, what helped was like how to actually do this was like, rather than trying to like take away, just start crowding out. So adding more and treating it like a priority. It's like, okay, I want to go to yoga every day. So I'm going to build that into my business. Gosh, I'm going to make that a business. I'm going to build into my calendar and prioritize that, right?
Yes.
Like, it's a priority of mine to be able to eat lunch every day. Like even that at some points, right? It was like, I would not have lunch. I would have girl lunch, like a freaking granola bar and a piece of orange.
You can't do that.
And it's like, no, like that's what's leading me to this like place of like wanting to literally flame everything.
I think another thing too is like this, like the balance, like I know we're kind of talking about like being consistent on social media in a subtle way. And I think it's important to note that like, depending on your niche, depending on your business's needs, depending on your own priorities, that can look different. If you are one of those people who really wants to like, you want your business to be centered around social media, you may be a person that needs to post more frequently, but it might feel like a lighter lift for you because that's what you're excited to do. And if you're a business who has a solid email funnel, your ads are slaying, you have word of mouth, you have all these other things going on, maybe for you, social media is like a 2 or 3 time a week deal because you don't need to be spending as much time and effort there. You have these other things supporting your business. And I think that's where the comparison comes in too, is like, I mean, I've been that social media manager and I've seen those social media managers that are like, if you don't post 5 times a week, basically burn in hell. And it's like,
I hate that.
If that makes sense for you, but it might not make sense for you. Like,
it doesn't, period.
And I think like you have to know that about yourself and your business. Like what do you have to give there?
Yes.
And is it worth it for you?
It
it might not be.
requires a lot of self-awareness. Like it really does. And like actually being real with yourself and like with what your goals are, which is why it is a problem when you're looking to others, because it's like nobody's business is the same. Nobody's goals are the same. Nobody's values are the same.
And their resources are all different.
Exactly.
Like you don't know how, if they could be working 2 hours a day, and that's why it's easy for them to show up.
Or they have a whole team,
media.
or they have a social media manager.
Yeah.
Or they have a
know.
VA, or they have a lot of support. You know, they're able to afford a nanny, or they're able to outsource other things in their personal life so that they have more time. And that's just literally not the same. Like no one has the same circumstances. And so it's important to, again, have that level of awareness so it can be like, okay, if you're literally crying at your desk by the end of the day, like I was, that's like, boo, like, you know, like that's a big sign, like time to change something, sister. Like if you feel like shit at the end of your work day because of how exhausted you are and because you were comparing yourself to Miss Jane over here or whatever, like, duh, yeah. Like, of course you're going to be miserable. Sorry to get sassy there, but actually I'm not sorry because I hate that for people. I hate that.
I hate it too. And I think it's just like, I mean, this is just literally looping back to what we said at the beginning, but like I just had to mute the people that were making me feel like I wasn't doing enough. Because what I realized, I mean, it's not them making me feel that way. It's me making myself feel that way, reading their content, right? It's not actually them. But what I realized is I was like, how is my business doing?
Yeah.
Am I getting new leads? Am I signing new clients? Are we growing? The answer to all of those was yes.
Yes.
And so it's like, what am I worried about trying to keep up with these people telling me what to do when like what I'm doing is working and it's going well and I'm happy about it? Like,
yep. Or you're trying to meet this like made up, like, oh, well, I need to get 10K. And it's like,
yeah,
like you're making money, your things are rocking, you're doing great. Like, you know, it does not matter what your numbers say at the end of the day. If like your bank account, there's things happening there, your inquiries, there's things happening there. And for me, like those things are very important. I mean, I love money. I love making money.
Yeah,
like
same Capricorns.
No, literally, I'm like, like give it to me. Like it brings me so much joy. But like for me, even those making money is obviously, you know, she's pretty high. But like other things are more important to me in regards to like what my goals are. Like yours might be emails and inquiries or, you know, products sold or whatever, like whoever, you have different goals. For me right now, it's like, I want to feel a level of joy in my life and in my business. And so that's a metric for me. Am I feeling joyful? Do I feel like I have energy? Do I feel like I have time?
Wow.
Am I nourishing myself? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm personally right now in this season of my business measuring my success by.
I love that. Like making joy and happiness and fulfillment a metric. Like you're tracking your engagement, you should also be tracking how good you feel.
Yes.
Because if your engagement is through the roof and you want to die, what's the point?
Yep. And that's where I was before this break. My engagement is the worst it's ever been right now. And I could not care less because I feel great.
It's just like, whatever. Like, and it's funny too. Like, it's funny because you can tell yourself, I mean, and we tell ourselves this and we tell our clients this as social media managers all the time. It's like metrics do not tell the full story, period. But then you look at them and they're down and you're like, okay, cool.
Like I'm humble.
But like your business is thriving.
Yeah.
But for some reason you're like worried about the engagement rate. Does not make sense.
Other people are seeing it. It's because other people are seeing it and because we put so much value on it. And it's been built around this like external validation of numbers. And yeah, you're missing it. And something that I've started to do on a monthly basis, but you could do this on a daily basis too. And I kind of do it on a daily basis as well, is I literally take note of my wins from that day, like in that month. It can literally be the smallest thing. And I'm like, you did that today because that's what you had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you booked 3 coaching calls this week. Like, whoa, big slay, right? Like, that's awesome. Some days it's like, you answered all your emails. Like, good job. Like, you know, You filmed a reel. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for some people, filming a reel is a big win. So again, there's still even differences in that. And so I think like you don't have a boss. Like there's not going to be like Mr. like, you know, Johnny, like my boss, my male boss. Like he's not going to come in and be like, good job on that pod today. Good job filming today. You know, you have to do that for yourself. Like it's you have to be able to like hype yourself up in that way. That's what is so hard about like being a solo like business owner. You can't rely on your comments to like give you that hype. You have to do it. And
it's true. Like sometimes I get to the end of the day, I've done 1 million things.
Yep.
I've written 17,000 really good Instagram posts for all my clients.
Yep.
And I get to the end of the day and I'm like, well,
what did I do?
I'm the worst. Time for bed. Like, what is that?
Literally, like that is so relatable. And I think in general, it's like we should be celebrating our wins, like outside of business, in life, all the things. I think acknowledging that builds confidence, but also what builds confidence is just like action, like taking action and being willing to acknowledge that action. Right. Yeah, like 100%. I think planning and overthinking and all this stuff is just another word for procrastination and pushing it off. And like, okay, once I have this, and this done, then I'll be ready. Then I'll be ready to start.
Perfectionism is just procrastinating because
100%.
There's no reason to be perfect on social media, period. Like if that's the one thing you learn about social media, it's that like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
It's not 2012 anymore. You don't have to have the perfect grid and the perfect set of hashtags and this like fake like idea of what your life is. Like that's not, and newsflash, like that's not what's working on social media anyways. And so it is okay. Like it is okay to experiment. It is okay to have a reel that flops. Everyone's had it happen. Yeah. I've had it happen multiple times.
Clients and I've also experimented and had it pop off, like pop off like crazy.
Yep.
So
people in the comments like more of this. I'm like, okay, that's telling me something. So you have to be willing to experiment and you have to be willing to try. But anyways, do you have any questions about boundaries? Have we covered boundaries? I'm like,
I feel like we did.
Like, like we just keep like spider webbing, and I'm like, okay, do we answer do the people? Are the people going to get their questions answered?
I feel like yes, and I think we can wrap up and add any extra boundaries that we think, but I think the big ones are just like protecting your social real estate. Like that's your little home on the internet. So like you decide who you follow, you decide who you let in. Like you actually have a lot more control over what you're going to consume than you think, especially on Instagram. Like you're going to see, it's not like TikTok, you know? So I think that's really important is like protecting that. I think just setting boundaries with yourself and being realistic about what you have time for and realistic about what your needs are. Like, do you need to be posting that much? Do you want to be posting that much? Those are the questions to ask yourself before you go committing to like some crazy strategy that you don't want to do.
Exactly. I feel like in my coaching calls, I've started like, since I've revamped them, I've started including like a lot of like almost like journal prompts in a lot of sections of like my notes. Cause it's like, okay, ask yourself this, check in with yourself about this, like drop in about this, and like giving like specific like questions to be able to ask yourself. Because I think sometimes you're like, well, everyone else is doing this, so let me do it. I have to do it. Right.
Yep.
And I think really, truly at the end of the day, if you want to grow on social media, you need to have this knowing of like who you are and what your goals are, and then like show up as her. And I think that's
and it's
where
that simple.
It is. And then, but we like overcomplicate it so much. Like we as like actual us, but also just we as like the collective of people showing up on Instagram.
It's true.
And it gets really frustrating, and it's completely valid if you're feeling burnt out and you're feeling like you don't have the energy to show up and you're confused and you're overwhelmed. Like I just want to continue to validate that, because as you have heard, like we literally do this as a job, and like we have felt that. So if you're feeling that as someone who is literally just trying to like live your life and build a business, like it's okay.
Yeah. And honestly, like, if I'm being so honest, like, I am taking a break. Like,
Woo!
and I've never taken a break. Like, I think the longest I've ever gone without posting on social media is like a week. When I went to Paris last year, I was like, eh. And I think I still was posting, just like I was just posting like about being in Paris. And honestly, like I'm getting married in a few weeks. Like I have my bachelorette, I'm getting married, I'm throwing a big party. Like I have a lot going on in my personal life that does support my business. Like, well, I mean, my business supports it, right? Like my business is paying for these things, everything like that. But what I know is that like I'm not going to get this time back. And if my client just had a baby, I wouldn't be like, listen, you need to post every day. If my client was going on her batch and getting married, I wouldn't be like, you have to schedule this ahead and post the whole time. Like I wouldn't even tell a client that. So I don't know why I'm holding myself to some like crazy standard when like this is a time of my life that like I'm literally not going to get back. Like this is once in a lifetime. You know, I've been married twice. We'll just talk about that another day. I mean, you guys know that. I've told you. But you know what I mean? Like, it's really special to me and I want to be present.
Yes.
I don't want to worry about posting. If I post, it's because like
you want to.
I felt excited and I wanted to post about my batch. Like it's not going to be strategic. It's not going to be about social media. And I think like knowing that and like letting that go has just helped me be more present immediately. Like the second I let go of that, I was like, I feel so good about this. And I have every intention of like absolutely slaying when I come back in June or July.
Because you'll have the energy. Like,
awesome.
You'll be able to be like, okay, I'm excited to come back. I've just lived like this like gorgeous time in my life and I've been able to soak it in and I've been able to like live in this just like lovey excitement celebratory time. So I am literally so excited you're doing that. I'm so proud of you for doing that. Like I know it's not easy and I think it's going to be very worth it. And I'm excited to like see when you come back. Like I'm excited to see the wedding pics and I'm excited to see the batch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and other people will be excited to see that too. And there is nobody, I promise you guys, like no one cares. No one cares. Like if you took a break, like and you're gonna come back and you're gonna feed them content, like and they'll be eating it up. Like it's okay. Take a break. Take a break.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you came on the podcast, Hannah. You are amazing. And thank you for sharing your story with us. I know that's like vulnerable and kind of scary. It can feel like, oh, now everybody knows my stuff. But I think it's actually really beautiful to hear it and be able to connect with it because I think so many people feel that way. And like you just like you telling your story helps people feel better about where they are and feel better about taking a break and just doing social media from a better place.
Well, I'm glad. I'm happy to overshare any day. I feel like I could have spilled so much. So and
I'll make sure we'll link like your coaching calls in the show notes. So if you guys are interested in booking a call with Hannah, you should. And hopefully we'll see you again soon on the podcast, maybe in real life.
Yes, please. I feel like that will be more fun. Just a vibe, a full on. We won't be talking about my depression.
We'll be far removed from that. Yeah. Awesome.
Oh,
well, thank you so
for
much.
Having me on. I'm honored. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.